Good evening. All right, guess we have a few people here already. So good evening. My name is Heike Dempster. I'm the Associate Director of Public Relations and Outreach at YoungArts. My pronouns are she, her, and in representing YoungArts, whose headquarters is situated in Miami, on the ancestral land of the Tequesta, Taino, and Seminole, I'd like to acknowledge the original elders, past, present, and future, on behalf of our organization. I want to welcome you all and thanks for joining us for this info session on the voice discipline and specifically the singer-songwriter category for the YoungArts National Competition. You can learn a lot today about why you should apply. YoungArts identifies the most accomplished young artists in the visual, literary, and performing arts and provides them with creative and professional development opportunities throughout their careers. The YoungArts experience really starts with the application, though. For many young people, applying to YoungArts is the first step to affirming I am an artist. We want to encourage all of the artists aged 15 to 18 or in grades 10 to 12 to apply, of course. Once selected, all award winners are offered a lifetime of artistic support. So I have a few housekeeping notes. First of all, the session is being recorded, so potential applicants who can't join us this evening can still watch and get this information. If you have any questions, please raise your hand or use the chat feature and mute yourself otherwise throughout the session, please. So in the next hour, we're going to tell you a lot more about the competition, as I said, and I would like to introduce the speakers for this evening. First, we have YoungArts National Selection Panelist, Chris Sampson. He's the founding director of the Popular Music Program at the University of Southern California, where his songwriting students have penned #1 hit songs, won Grammy Awards, and have toured nationally and internationally. We have Kierra Gray, a 2015, 2017, and 2018 YoungArts Award winner in voice. She's a singer-songwriter, workshop clinician, and music educator based in South Carolina. She's written songs for film, jingles for national companies, and she's an instructor at the Young Musicians University. And we have Grace Weber, a 2006 YoungArts winner in theater and voice, and a US Presidential Scholar in the Arts. She's a Grammy-winning artist and has worked with artists like Chance the Rapper to Francis and the Lights, and has just released her debut album, A Beautiful Space. So make sure you check that out, everyone. And we have Neidra Ward, our Associate Director of Winner Programs at YoungArts, who will answer all questions about the application itself. So I pass it off to Chris Sampson. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, everybody. I am so encouraged to see this much interest in our singer-songwriter discipline here at YoungArts. And I also see some familiar faces that I've worked with before. Joe, nice to see you. Grace, I owe you a text. It's awesome to see you guys. And I'm sure that there's even more. So that only proves that the singer-songwriter community is a true community. We come across each other a lot throughout the whole process of making music together, getting together with everybody. So it's not a surprise to me to see some familiar faces. The singer-songwriter category is new, and Neidra can correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think relatively it's probably one of the newest disciplines at YoungArts. And when I say new, what, about 5 or 6 years or so? Am I correct, Neidra? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So when I say new, 5 or 6 years old. But for me, having YoungArts introduce singer-songwriter as a category was a defining moment, to be honest, in our discipline. It was finally a recognition of what we do in our art and our craft. There was lots of platforms for classical musicians, jazz musicians, vocalists of all kinds, but the singer-songwriter really didn't necessarily have this type of platform or opportunity for this degree of recognition, support, and all of these things. So YoungArts was really ahead of the curve, quite frankly, to provide this as an outlet. And over the past 5 or 6 years, we've been able to support and develop and mentor artists nationally. And it has been tremendously rewarding and has provided lifelong relationships and as Kierra and Grace are going to attest to, be a enormous springboard forward. It's sort of a next step with all of this. And so I welcome you. We're going to pass this around a little bit. What I'd like to do is actually have Neidra go over the nuts and bolts of the applications, specifically things like deadlines and those types of things. I will come back in and chime in with a little bit of inside knowledge as to how these applications are reviewed, they're evaluated, what we look for, maybe some do's and don'ts in the audition process. And so I can do that given my experience. But Neidra, would you mind filling them in on deadlines, just sort of the absolute logistics of this to make sure that they're all on time with their applications?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So the application is currently open right now. It's been open since June, and it closes October 15th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. That is 8:59 p.m. Pacific. So please, 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 I beg of you to keep that in mind when you are applying. You must be between the ages of 15 and 18 or in grades 10 through 12 on December 1st of this year to be eligible to apply. You must also be either a citizen, a permanent resident, a green card recipient, or legally able to receive taxable income in the United States. If you have any questions about those eligibility guidelines, please let me know. We also have an email dedicated that goes to several staff members to help answer your application questions. And I will put that in the chat. It is apply@youngarts.org. So even if you find yourself asking yourself questions after the session is over, please send them to this email address and we will get back to you ASAP. So I will pass it back to Chris.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. And make sure that you note those particular deadlines. When you review the application materials on the website, you're going to see that it's pretty straightforward. So it's a video that you're going to be submitting. And we're going to want to hear from you 3 original songs. And in particular, we're going to want to hear, in this particular case, 3 songs that were 100% written by you. Okay, so we understand that collaboration is a huge part of songwriting. We all love working with producers and other songwriters, but keep in mind, this is your opportunity for you to demonstrate who you are as an artist. So we would want to verify and know that the songs that we're hearing were 100% by you. Okay, your performances should be self-accompanied in some way. So notice that when we say singer-songwriter, it's very easy for us to default to guitar and piano, but I think that there is even some more creative ways. And I'm actually, if we have time, I'm going to show you some examples or an example of a finalist and how she was self-accompanied. But we do want you to, that's what makes the singer-songwriter category so special, is that we're not only seeing your original work, looking at your vocal quality, but also your ability to accompany yourself. So we're asking a lot, but this isn't out of the reach of singer-songwriters. This is what we do. And like I said, it'll be a minimum of 3 songs. Now, a lot of people ask me about how to go about the video. The video quality should put an emphasis on clarity. Okay, it does not have to be fancy. It really shouldn't have to involve any type of technology or things that you would either have to buy or rent. So it should be consumer level technology that most of us have, right? You might have to borrow a few things if you feel comfortable doing that, but you really shouldn't have to put yourself out. As a matter of fact, we would like and emphasize for that you minimize sort of outside production. We really want to get at the root of who you are as an artist through the clarity of this video, not necessarily through filters and fog machines and 3-camera shoots and those types of things. So keep it simple, okay? Now, when I say clarity, What you'll also want to do is make sure that balances are correct. So your balance between your voice and your instrument, do a sound check, listen back, make sure that all the lyrics are coming out clearly, okay? So that's a point of emphasis for us. And sometimes an instrument can overwhelm the voice, those types of things. Double check that balance, okay? Also, what tends to get in the way of our comprehension of the lyrics is sometimes the rooms that we record in. A lot of times, say our music department will give us the choir room or the band room, or our church will give us the sanctuary to borrow to do our audition in. And this is fantastic. But the challenge is that these rooms, particularly if they have concrete walls or something like that, have a lot of reflections. And those reflections will start to kind of murky up the voice, the clarity of things, and the lyrics. So one of the things that you might want to consider is that if you're getting all these reflections in a room, some strategically hung duvet covers, bedspreads, do wonders for being able to knock down those reflections so that we can understand your lyrics clearly. You will also submit your lyrics. So you'll notice on the application site that there is an opportunity for you to upload your lyrics so that really, honestly, if there's any questions, we'll refer to the printed page as well. If it's okay, and yeah, I'm trying to think of like how to best do this with 39 people on the call. If it's okay, I'm going to pause for 2 minutes and take questions on the audition video, because that seems to be something very specific. So if we keep questions about the video, and then I'll go to our next thing. So are there any questions? And maybe you can use the, okay, one came in the chat, or the raise hand function is also fine. Can there be additional accompanists, bass, drums, etc.? The answer is yes, provided that you use your best judgment that they don't interrupt the clarity aspect that I'm talking about. Okay, so a lot of times bass and drummers get excited with their playing, and they can maybe upstage you a little bit, particularly if they're not used to or understanding what they're playing for. So use your best judgment. If you've got an overly excited bass player and drummer, you may wish to, you might serve you better to just simply be self-accompanied, okay? So use your best judgment of all of this. And it definitely should be 100% live. That's a good question. You know, what we want to definitely see is your musicianship. And so any type of backing tracks and those types of things really aren't necessarily in the spirit of this particular audition. So that's excellent. And Whitney, you said, what are other examples of self-accompaniment other than piano and guitar? I'm going to get to that. I'm going to share you an example. So let's stick a pin in that particular question. I'll come back to it. Okay, so I'll let you sort of adjust for things. So what we want, as you can see, my camera's too close for me and you can't see me playing piano. So what we'd want is a camera angle that allows us to see your hands and sing at the same time, okay? If you're playing guitar, for example, if we can get a shot that sort of takes all of that. If it's too far away, then we're not going to be able to see your expressions and your diction and those types of things. So if once again, just kind of, I think that there's a degree of common sense that comes into play when you sort of put your camera at a certain distance. Yes, you can play multiple instruments. Again, put the emphasis on clarity and remember these are your original songs. So we'll let you craft that. How do we display the full composition of the song if we can't submit a pre-recorded background text, such as, okay, so YoungArts places a strong emphasis on live performance. Okay, so we want to see you and your ability to perform live. as you advance through this competition and as you have an opportunity perhaps to participate in a regional program or a national program, you will be asked to perform live, and you won't have the opportunity in those certain situations to have a full band or things realized. So what we're trying to do is sort of look at this particular situation. So you might want to adapt your songs, arrange your songs so that they are represented. We are definitely interested in the core song. It's not about the production, and it's not about all of the layers. We want to hear the core, the song in its purest form as presented to you. So you might need to be a little creative and adapt that so that you can walk on stage and sort of represent yourself and your song as strongly as possible. I hope that that answers your questions. Also, like I said, in the example that I'm going to show, which you might also see maybe a way to manage this, and I'll show you this in just a second. If we can see your hands, so the question is, do you need to see us play the piano keys when we're accompanying ourselves? If there can be a camera angle, let's see here, that allows, sorry, I didn't get my camera very well, that allows us to sort of see hand position. We don't have to see each and every note, but if we can see a perspective, that would be very helpful. Okay, I have seen, if this definitely falls like into the don't column, I've seen pianos that are pushed up against the wall and literally somebody's got their back to me like this. We don't want that, avoid that. There's, things like if it's a grand piano and the lid is open and it's blocking your face, those are the types of things to look out for, okay? Like I said, a lot of this is just use some common sense, some good judgment on it, and you should be just fine, okay? This is a good question. So yeah, this is minor, but does it matter if the video is a continuous shot or can it be cut between songs? It can be cut between songs, but the actual performance of a song should be unedited, beginning to end, okay? So no editing of the performance of a song, but you can give us a full performance of song number 1, then song number 2, then song number 3.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm going to jump in, Chris. It's actually one video per slot, meaning per song. So you have to record one song, record the second song. It can't be a continuous video because there are different spots for each of the songs.
Great. So there you have it. So it's logistically sort of steered that way. Can you use a guitar amp and microphone? Yes, you can. So depending on your access to certain technologies, again, emphasis is on clarity. Okay. All right, let us actually take a look if you don't mind, and then I'll continue on with the evaluation process of somebody who did do self-accompaniment, did realize a full composition, but it still performed in real time. Okay, I think that that is really the definition of things, is that it needs to be self-accompanied in real time. And things like loopers, like MIDI controllers, these types of things are quite musical and can be manipulated and accompanied in real time. So this is a finalist from a few years back. I want to roughly say 2016. I guess the date will come up here pretty soon. Named Paris Williams. And so here's an example of self-accompanied. She's using a looper station, but she's doing it in real time. So this is an example of how somebody can do this. So here we go.
knew she would have even given her own heart, her heart and soul if you asked her to, but you gave her up. Made her feel like she was never enough. But little did you know, and soon it came to find out that she was a diamond in the rough. Now you can't help but look at her, and she lives in your day turns like you see now she's somebody else's son. And you're blinded by the light, but don't let her go. Made her feel like you overlooked a glow. Too busy looking for them late stars, you couldn't see where you are. You had it good and you didn't even know. When though she was wanna be everything for you, her love was guaranteed. You put it on pause, you put it on pause because there was one thing that you need, and you said you needed time. She said she can do all the time in the world for you. She'll be someone new, a patient girl. So baby, anything you need, you know she got it quick. But you always make her feel inadequate.
That was Young Arts winner Paris Williams. So what I want everybody to take away from that is, oh my gosh, Chris Sampson told me I have to go out and buy a looping pedal. No, that's not what I told you. That was just a very natural way that Paris expresses herself as an artist, and she's able to accompany herself in real time. If your natural way is on guitar, is on piano, or something like that, that is fine. So please don't go out of your way to do something that is doesn't represent who you are. Okay, so I just showed you that as the net is cast a little bit wider, and I just didn't. For those of you who may not necessarily fit into that traditional singer-songwriter with piano or guitar accompaniment, maybe there's some creative ways to do that. The key is real-time self-accompanying. Okay. I'm going to continue, and then we'll obviously get a chance to hear from our alums about their experience, and then of course take more questions. So once these videos are uploaded, they are then distributed to a national reviewing panel. So we have got some extraordinarily qualified and wonderful songwriting adjudicators all over the country, and your videos will get reviewed by them. And it is a highly selective competition. And as they review them, they will then forward the review to the national adjudicators, which is myself and my voice colleagues. Latanya Hall, who is the adjudicator for pop and jazz vocal, and Jason Ferrante, who is the adjudicator for classical vocals. So you should be aware that singer-songwriter is in the voice category. And the three of us as a panel will then adjudicate and take a look at these reviews that have been filtered down to us from these national adjudicators. So you should be aware that if you're going to take the time to make one of these videos, that it is going to get a lot of attention, and it's going to get full consideration. It's going to get passed through multiple reviews and go through a variety of stages. And so you should sort of rest assured that your efforts are going to be fully reviewed, fully acknowledged as they go through this entire process. The national adjudicators, our panelists, will then arrive on our final determination of the various, dare I say, sort of winner categories. Yeah, no, that's correct. Winner categories. We've got the finalists, we've got honorable mentions, we've got, Neidra, help me out with the other categories.
Merits.
Merits, right. And so there are many opportunities for people to get recognized. And keep in mind, these are the best young songwriters in all of the country. And so we recognize the final, merits, honorable mentions, and collectively everybody then becomes part of the Young Arts family, with opportunities for programs, with opportunities for mentoring support, and the like. So it's really a tremendous opportunity. Kierra, did that match your experience? Tell us about what happened when you were selected as a finalist.
Oh man, this is actually a story. So, so I was at work. At this point, I was a receptionist for a music school, and I was at work, and my phone rang, and I had already saved the YoungArts number just in case, because I don't know, I'm that kind of person. But I had already had it saved, and I saw, no, I didn't have it saved. It was a Florida area code. And I was like, Florida, isn't that where YoungArts is based? So I answered the phone at work. Don't do this. I answered the phone at work, and they were like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that you were selected as a finalist. Oh my, I started freaking out in the receptionist lobby, you guys. It was like, I was over the moon excited. This was something that I had wanted for so long. I applied in 2015 and I got married. And then I applied again in 2017 and I got married too. And so to finally be chosen as a finalist, oh my goodness, I was hooping and hollering in the lobby. It was very embarrassing, but I did not care. I was too excited. I had worked so hard for this. And so I get the call, I'm excited. And then so when you're a finalist, you get flown out to Miami for YoungArts Week. And so I'm super excited. I get there, I'm meeting people. You ever feel like you meet somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, you understand me. Like, they don't have to be your best friend. They don't have to be like your sister or brother or anything. It could be a complete stranger, but because you're both interested in something creative or musical or artistic or whatever, it's like, man, I've met my people. So that's how I felt the entire week. It was amazing. I met Chris and we did some master classes. Well, I was in his master class about songwriting, and that was great. And I did some interdisciplinary classes, and those are great. And everybody you meet is so talented. Like, and honestly, even when I was a merit winner, just the feeling of that first year, 2015, it was the first time they ever had the singer-songwriter discipline. And I was like, I'm going to apply. I applied, I found out I was a merit winner, and just knowing that I was selected out of all of the candidates or whatever was just like a feeling of, okay, maybe I have something. Because you're playing songs, you might be gigging right now, and your parents are like, oh my gosh, you are so talented. And you're like, am I? Like, it's your mom, it's your dad. Like, does that really count? Like, is that, I don't know, maybe I am. And then of course your friends are like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, like, I love that song. And they're singing your songs, but you don't know. So for an objective entity, for like a national organization to recognize you and say, listen, you got merit, is like, whoa, like, okay, cool. And so to finally be chosen as a finalist, it was like, man, I might actually be able to like do something with this for life, like for a career. I never forget, Chris, I don't know if you remember this, but we were playing our other songs in our class, and I played a Father's Day song for everybody. And you were like, at the end, you're like, man, I think we got a hit on our hands. I about fell out of my skin. I was like,
very often. I say that maybe once every 5 years. That's great.
Yeah, I about fell out of my skin. I was like, oh my gosh, Chris just said this. And I started freaking out. But internally, because I'm trying to play it cool.
You kept it together.
I kept it together. Thank you. But yeah, it really showed me like, okay, Kierra, you have permission to take yourself seriously. Like, these people are saying that you're talented. Maybe it's time that you start believing it. So for me, YoungArts was like a whole shift in mindset. Like, okay, Kierra, one, there are people out here who are doing this. Like, the other kids who are going to be there or who are going to be accepted, they're going to be talented. They're going to be gigging. They're going to be releasing music already. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's happening. And so it made me look at myself and say, this can happen for you too. Like, you don't have to wait. I feel like I was waiting for someone to like discover me or something before I fully put my best foot forward. But with YoungArts, it was like, Kierra, discover yourself. Let's get going. Let's release music. Let's perform. Let's do the things that we've always wanted to do. And so I basically did. Through YoungArts, I met this other alumni. She is a film director. I don't know what year, but she posted in the YoungArts Facebook group. She was like, listen, I'm doing this documentary and I really need music. I need animators, I need composers, I need musicians. She didn't say songwriters, but I was like, you know what? She said composers, she said musicians. Songwriter is like a mix of both worlds. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, I'm totally interested in doing some music for your documentary. Like, here's, and she had like a video. She was like, here's a video concept of like kind of what it's about. So I watched the video and I wrote something just based off of the video. I said like, here's a little demo of something that I'm feeling, like, let me know if you like it. And she responds and she's like, oh my gosh, I love that. That's perfect. Let me shoot it to my producer. But long story short, through YoungArts, I got my first sync placement. And it just like, just the opportunities, like when they say that this is a lifetime of like artist support, they're not lying to you, okay? Like you hear that from other organizations and you're like, I don't know. But with YoungArts, I can legitimately say my experience is that they have been there for me with different opportunities. And then just working with the organization. I love the organization. I love what they stand for. I love what they offer young artists. Like, I love YoungArts, but that's just me. Did I answer your question, Chris?
Goodness. We couldn't have had a better answer. But that
okay, cool.
That affirmation is something that happens where all of a sudden you do get that outside affirmation that, oh, maybe I do have something in grace. I'm wondering if that was similar to your experience. Was that just kind of a little bit of a mark that you gave you that a degree of confidence to move forward?
Yeah, 100%. It gave me the confidence of like, okay, just like what Kierra was saying, it's like, maybe I am really good enough to pursue a real career in the arts. And piggybacking off of what Kierra said about, you know, showing up at YoungArts and feeling like you have found this new family of artists and kids your age, that where it feels like, oh my God, like I feel seen for who I really am, like for the first time, maybe ever. For me, it felt like that. Like I was meeting other young people who wanted to be artists for their careers. And I didn't really have a lot of friends in my high school at the time who felt like that, you know? And so for me to meet other artists, not only in music, but in dance and film and photography and painting, who were like so committed to their art, like it was like the thing that made, you know, their life light up, you know, like to be able to bond with other friends like that was just like so cool. And so again, confirming that like, okay, I'm in the right space because here I feel seen and heard and like I'm on the right path. So definitely, it was definitely a confirmation for me. And also piggybacking on what Kierra said about YoungArts really being a part of your life for the rest of your life. You know, I was a finalist in 2006, which probably seems like, I don't know, maybe some of you were born in 2006, but I still get to do incredible things with YoungArts. You know, a few years after I did the YoungArts program, I got flown to Paris to sing at the official commemoration for 9/11. I've performed all over the country for different YoungArts events and things throughout my whole career. And just this year, I actually applied for a grant with YoungArts to see if they would help me make this music video for a song that features Chance the Rapper and features all these young artists from YoungArts actually. And YoungArts gave me the money to be able to create this music video in New York at the MoMA. And it was just like crazy and amazing. And, you know, I'm 33 now. So this is like years of support from this organization. So I definitely recommend applying. It really changed my life, like authentically changed my life. And the things that you learn there about, you know, I have remember the vocal coach that was at YoungArts when I was there, you know, he taught me so many things about not only like taking care of my voice and how to, you know, warm up my voice in ways that would allow me to sing, you know, for night after night on tour, for example, but also like how to, a simple thing like opening my eyes more when I sang so that I could connect with the audience more, like just all these big and little things that will change your life as a person and as an artist. It's really, really incredible.
That's fantastic. Thank you both, Kierra and Grace. And I think that's just even scratching the surface is what people's experience is. And I can definitely affirm to you that This is an organization with a beautiful heart. They are here to support artists. And I've been touched, particularly when challenged through a pandemic, how YoungArts stepped up to help artists through this challenging time. And I was really moved and inspired by this organization. It's just indicative of sort of where their heart is at. The other thing that Grace and both Kierra sort of touched upon is that YoungArts is an immersive experience. So it's not that you are just sort of grouped in and sequestered in a bubble with other singer-songwriters. You are amongst the best young filmmakers, fine artists, designers, creative writers, classical musicians, jazz musicians, this complete holistic artistic community. And this is food. This is nourishment for songwriters. So our songwriters will go out and see the cinema showcase and see these incredible films or watch the dance recital and come back so inspired that they have to write a song because they've just been fed with this remarkable inspiration from what comes from it. So immersive is probably the best word that I can think of. I want to make sure we leave plenty of time for questions because I think that that's probably the most valuable thing. But before I go, Neidra, did I overlook anything that absolutely critical to the conversation? Did I skip anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'm going to turn it over for questions, and I will ping pong it also to Kierra and Grace to make sure that they get a chance to also respond from an alumni's vantage point. But I see one in the chat. It's an excellent question and something I sort of forgot to talk about when during the adjudication process. When reviewing submissions, are past accomplishments of the applicant considered, e.g. what your performances and competitions are and all of these things? That's a great question. So you should be aware that our adjudications, you're anonymous. It is your music evaluated as is. We don't get information about your name, where you're from, any of that information. So you're just presenting that. We only get to know that information after the adjudications are done. So Neidra, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think people upload, like at this particular point, bios or resumes or anything like that, right?
No, no.
So just your art. It's just your songs. It is just your lyrics. They take your names off of the application. Technically, it's anonymous. And so I think that's good for you to keep in mind that really it's about your music. It's about your creativity, your performance, your songwriting. Really it's very pure that way. So is lyrics and voice quality most important? The answer is yes. No, the singer-songwriter category is really interesting because it's about communicating. It's about moving your listener. And sometimes that is with an extraordinary voice. Sometimes that's through extraordinary lyrics. And sometimes it's through a vocal delivery that's just so unique that it carries the story and communicates. So it's very hard to quantify. It is very hard for me to describe, but just know that what we are looking at is, again, are we moved? Are you communicating? Are you having us feel something? Is there true emotion to what's being presented? Those are the types of things that that we'd be looking for. So it's very I use this word again, holistic. It's the entirety of what you're presenting. So music is very safe. So YoungArts employs an excellent database management system for your applications. You don't have to formally copyright it because it would only be used for the purposes of the evaluation, and that is it. This is a different conversation, but you should know that as soon as you put it in a fixed form, it is already copywritten, but you don't have to go through the trouble of formally copywriting it because it is definitely safe. Great question. Okay. Neidra, there's a question for you. When are finalists, merits, honorable mentions notified?
So all winners are notified by the beginning of December, both by email. Finalists are contacted by phone and email. And honorable mention and merit winners are contacted by email by the beginning of December, and the winners are announced, and the list of all winners is posted to our website at the same time.
Terrific. So while we're waiting for another question to come in, I'm going to give you guys another pro tip. You guys ready for a pro tip? All right. Vary your tempos of your songs. Okay. Keep in mind that the adjudicators are going to be reviewing hundreds of applicants times 3 songs. Okay, so we're talking about hundreds of songs. And if they hear hours and hours of slow piano ballads, it's difficult for your song to stand out. Okay, so I think one of the most effective ways to stand up is to have contrast, to be able to have different tempos, rhythmic energies, dynamics, these types of things. You know, there's certainly, I have nothing against a good piano ballad. I'll cry right along with the next person, but you want to stand forward, you want to stand out. And when there's hours and hours of just slow ballads, it's difficult for the individual applicant to really stand forward. So contrast, energy, dynamics, those are sort of key words that can help you perhaps stand out. Okay. Can you submit one song on guitar and another on piano? Absolutely. Sounds like a great plan, particularly if you play guitar and piano. So if who you are as a writer is spanning multiple genres, I don't think I would go out of my way to go, oh, Chris said contrast. That means I need to write a musical theater thing, even though I'm not really into musical theater. You know what I mean? So keep it here, keep it authentic to who you are. But if part of who you are is spanning multiple genres, yeah, I think that would be a good decision to make. I'll let you craft that, okay? All right. Okay. Sorry, guys, multitasking, navigating here. If a song was not recognized one year, is it possible to submit it again? I guess I've never had that question before. If you feel if it feels like it represents your material as strong as possible, I would say that would be fine. Probably wouldn't submit all 3 songs over. You know, we probably would want to see growth and development in your writing. So
I was just gonna chime in, Chris, and say, yeah, it's not one individual song that you're being adjudicated on, it's your entire application, which it would be the 3 songs along with the, you know, live accompaniment and lyrics, all of that wrapped into one. So it's not one individual song that's being adjudicated, it's your whole application. So yes, you can reapply with the same song that you have in the past.
Great. And it
Can I
seems like,
chime in there?
please, Kierra.
Okay, cool. So if this happened to me, so if one of your songs isn't recognized, be sure to re-sing it like the way you sang last year. You sing better than that this year. So re-sing it. And then lyrically, if you feel like a lyric could be stronger and like you've like kind of updated it a little bit more, you've made it stronger, you've made, you know, your hook catchier or whatever it is, or it has a stronger emotional tug, make sure like all of that is in there too. Like, don't just like, okay, we're going to recycle this video. Like, nah, give them your best, like give them your best. Cool.
Grace, do you have any sort of insights as to what, how they might approach this audition process?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sing and create from your heart. Like, this organization is going to be one that is really only judging you on your truth. Like, you don't have to impress in any other way except being who you are. Doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter, you know, what you've done in the past or haven't done. It's really about like you speaking your truth. So I think touching to the core of that is going to be how you kind of make your mark in the Young Arts family. And the other really cool thing about, being able to apply multiple times, as Kierra was saying, is like, you can grow, you get to be a merit winner one year. It gives you this ability to, change some things up for the next year, and you can kind of rise up the ladder and go all the way to finalists because you kept committing to that growth. And that's going to be something that, you'll do as an artist for the rest of your life. And so it's a cool opportunity and it's, even if you don't get merit, definitely don't give up and try again, because that's what being an artist is too, is like continuing to figure out like, okay, what are the parts of me that I can grow? Where can I grow? What can I learn? And watch the past winners too, to get maybe some inspiration and things like that too. But again, back to just speaking and singing your truth, writing your truth, like that's where you're going to be noticed most.
Okay, the advice that Kierra and Grace are giving you is golden. It is fantastic that they're offering this to you. All right, I'm going to offer another pro tip. We are also looking at you as performers as well. So we're asking a lot of you to compose great songs, to self-accompany, be great singer-songwriters, but we're also interested to see if you can connect with an audience. And I know that it is strange to be in full performance mode while looking at a camera. So we want to make sure that at least you show us the ability to connect with an audience and be able to have a performance dynamic. So be sure that that's included, because us singer-songwriters can be introverted bunches, right? Yes, right. And we can kind of get into our own sort of space a little bit. This is our opportunity to perform, to be on stage. And this audition gives us just a little sample of what you'd be able to bring to our community if you get a chance to be on stage and perform. So see if you can give us some hint of what your performance dynamic is. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading questions here on the side.
I'll take that one, Chris. Sloan, yes, absolutely. Please write an email to apply@youngarts.org and explain the situation. We'll reopen your application for you so you can switch out the media and then resubmit.
See, I told you, organizations got heart. Well, terrific. Are there any other questions? Kierra and Grace, do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Grace, do you want to go first?
I would just say definitely apply. Like if you're thinking about it, if you're on the fence, like you can lose nothing except maybe the application fee, which I forget. I don't know how much that is, but if you can afford that and you're on the fence, definitely push yourself to do it, because the only thing that you will gain complete like growth and love and good energy, and it's definitely worth it. Even if you don't make it this year, like it gives you an opportunity to try again for next year. So I definitely say just hop in, send in that application, and I'm really, really excited for you guys.
Thank you, Grace. Kierra.
Yeah. And piggybacking off of what Grace said about like just showing young arts who you are in your videos, for those of you who haven't filmed them yet, I'm going to share something with you that I like take with me every time I have to perform or teach or like whatever. And my father told me this. He said, whenever you get in front of a new audience or you're in a new classroom or whatever the case may be, you're filming an audition video, remember that you're not trying to impress those people. You are introducing them to who you are. So they're either going to like you or they're not going to like you. And either or is fine, but you don't want to go into this saying, okay, they're going to like me. Like I'm going to do the vocal acrobatics so that they can think I'm cool or so that they can remember me. Like, no, just go in introducing them to who you are and just be authentic. That is so important. Be authentic, because that's what people remember. That's what people connect to. Also, and I'm going to say this in faith, you guys, because I know y'all are a talented bunch. When you get selected as a winner and you're going to the program or you're going to Young Arts Week, do not waste time feeling intimidated. I did that for like the first 3 days. Like, don't forget all of that. You are there. You are selected. You are talented. Okay. Like, just go in, enjoy it, make friends, learn as much as you can. Okay, spend as much time with as many people as you can, because it's an amazing experience. And just go and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment.
I don't think we could have had better representatives than Kierra and Grace on this. This was fantastic. Neidra, do you have any final words?
Yeah, I just wanted to actually touch base. Thank you, Grace, for mentioning the application fee. So it is $35 per application. So you can apply in as many categories as you like, but it is $35 for each one. If you are able to pay that fee, we do offer fee waivers, and they are really, really simple and easy to get. It's just a letter from your parent, teacher, or if you're over 18, from yourself stating that you are in financial need and would like to get your fee approved, and it's automatically approved. And it is approved for every category that you submit in. So if you apply in singer-songwriter and pop, just one letter, upload it into your application, and your fee is waived.
Very good. Thank you all for joining us. I hope that this gives you just a little bit of an insight into why we think this program is so special. We look forward to it every year. We make lifelong friends. We get to work with the top professionals in the field when we all come together at the various programs. Yeah, it's quite remarkable. And so I hope that this just at least gives you a little bit of sampling and inspires you to file that application. And we'll look forward to hearing you. Okay, so with that, good luck, everybody. Great seeing you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
See
you.
ya.
Bye, Kierra. Bye, Grace. Thank you.
Bye, Chris.